Hello, how is everyone doing? If you would like to watch some Commander Masters be open in the future, make sure you subscribe. But today, because I know everyone has the attention span of a goldfish with mental deficiencies, here's my hospital band. I was in there. Anyway, somebody commented and said that my SRAM senior edificer looked fake. The comment's still there. I'm not going to remove it. If you think he's being a hater, that's your opinion. I think he was just somebody trying to reach out and be like, hey, that doesn't look right to me. So he made a list of 3 things. He said the quality was low, which I think was a load of shit, to be honest. I respect you, but I think that was just a hater thing to say. He said that the symbol looks different than my mesmeric orb. And to that, I have a very clean rebuttal. They're different symbols. And I forget what the third thing was, but we'll go back over it. So this is essentially, I only picked out cards that I own because we're going to switch this video to IRL here very soon. But you see this 5 on the Atraxa. You see how protruded out this line right here is? These cards actually have a little bit of a different symbol, which I think is I will critique Wizards. I think that's a quality control issue. I think that all these numbers should look near identical. I know that through the printing process, there's going to be nanograms or millimeters and nanometers and shit that are a little different. But your 500 should be the most consistent number on these serialized cards. And I think it's a little shameful. So here's the Atraxa. I have the Atraxa in real life. We're going to look at this. But look at how much that 500 looks. All right? And then we're going to look at SRAM. Look at how short in comparison this 5 is on the 500. It doesn't even break this. I'm pretty sure it protrudes past that on the Atraxa. No, but close. So you see the 500 side by side? We'll do that. And then SRAM. You see how the 500 actually looks different? And you can argue that's a different seller, but I have this seller too. And his 500 looks like this. It's different. And back to the point of the mesmeric orb, it has a flat out different symbol. It doesn't really look like it here, but I bought so this Atraxa was completely, this was PSA approved. This is approved by PSA. I bought it from eBay, fact checkers, whatever you want to say. You can see, perhaps, or hear, or feel, or see, whatever, this sticks off the card. The symbol on the artifacts one is completely flat. It doesn't come off. Or like, it's not stamped on, it's part of the ink. So, I could get his confusion there, but they're constantly changing everything. They're constantly changing everything, so I don't blame him for thinking this. But maybe here's another picture of one. It's a little hard to tell from a bird's eye view camera, but these are flat on the cards. On the Multiverse Legends, at least, those I don't own, the different ones, but on the Multiverse Legends, it's completely flat. Or on the Brothers War Artifacts, it's completely flat. And on the Multiverse Legends, it's like stamped on. So that's a difference between the 2 serialized cards. I just want to put that out in the air. So now we're going to switch and look at the cards side by side. And with my jeweler's loop. What's up, everyone? I'm going in my time machine again. I just completed the bulk of this video, but one of his reasonings to why he thought that the card might be fake also was the symbol here at the bottom, how it's different than other cards. But these cards are different. These are all different on different cards. They're always Planeswalker symbols. I even want you to pay attention to the foiling on them. This is the hardest part to fake. However, which you could critique Wizards for, honestly, in my opinion, I wouldn't really bat an eye, since it's the hardest part to fake, but they're all different on all these cards. So I opened these 2 cards in videos, and this one is approved by PSA. So we'll just look at the approved by PSA one. You see that symbol, the foiling is different. And if you see, you can't see it ultra well. Let me see if I can't raise this up, this light. But if you look at it, the way the Planeswalker emblems and lines throughout the card are also different. You see it? There's like a Planeswalker sticking out the ground. There's like 5 on this one. On this one, there's practically only 3. Right? And this card is pretty nice, but it's also different. You got one sticking out the corner there. The foiling is a little different. The way it, see exactly like I'm holding it the same way, and the light shines on it differently. And you can see all the symbols are different. And I got cards from the same set, so it's not set to set. This one looks a little bit like the Atraxa one, but you can even tell, like, there are bound to be similar ones, like fingerprints. Everyone's fingerprint is different. However, there's like ones that are pretty close. Oh, exactly. You see, I hold the card like that, and where it's foil on those other ones, it's literally not in this section. You know what I'm saying? So these are just different. So if you ever get a card and you look at that symbol, that's the hardest symbol to counterfeit. But I don't know why exactly that's claimed, because they're different on each card. Maybe it's just hard to make it look like the way Wizards does it. I'm not sure. But that's what people say. But I just want to remind everyone that they are not exactly the same. They might have been in the past, but not anymore. All right. So what's up, everyone? This is part 2. We got all of my serialized cards laid out. And the one thing I wanted to point out, like I said, he made the remark that the Mesmeric Orb number looked incredibly different than the Multiverse Legends ones. And yes, sir, you are absolutely correct. But they are different. They don't look different. You can see it. They just sort of stick off the card. It's hard to portray it because it doesn't stick off all that much. But I'm hoping I'm doing a good job at illustrating the fact that it's on top of the card. The Mesmeric Orb is sort of part of the ink, which is kind of interesting. I'm not really partial to either one. Either style. Oh yeah, that's a good way to show it. This one is also PSA approved. So PSA says this one's real. So I like to use this one as a benchmark. And then back to the SRAM. If you remember the picture of my SRAM, or of someone's SRAM for sale, my SRAM has the same thing, which I think is an issue. I'm going to go out and say, what the heck, Wizards, and point out the fact that the 500 looks different than this Atraxa one. The 500. It looks a little shorter. Very easy to tell, especially when you're looking at it. Which I don't think it actually is shorter when you do it like this. I just think there's black ink. They put too much black ink on the 5. You see it? It looks the same from this angle to me. And then when you do it like this, it's shorter. So if you look at, obviously you watched the first part of the video if you're watching the latter half. So we all saw that the 500 just looks shorter on the SRAM. On everyone's. We looked at 2. Other than that, we have my jeweler's loop. I want to try and figure out how to do this on the camera and sort of give this as a better look for everyone. But if you look at it, hopefully it doesn't blind you. Where's the, there it is. Oh yeah, it actually might work with the 60. No, actually, I don't think so. Ooh. No, that's not going to work. What about with the light off? Or maybe that light on. Let's try this out. This is very hard to do. Crap, man. It won't work. But I checked this card. I have no problem admitting when I got scammed or whatever. If I got scammed and you think I did, just please call me out. I don't know how to show this any better. I'll probably have to look up a way to get, because I record these off my iPhone. I do things rough, rugged, and raw around here. But I've tested it with the loop. It has the L-shaped pattern and the green symbol. The blacks are the last colors added to the card. As we saw, it looks like every other SRAM we've seen as far as the numbering goes and the way the numbers look. Other than that, I don't know what else I can do. No hate to that guy. Nothing but love, of course. If you think I have a fake card, I would love for you to tell me so I can check it. But I always like to say, like, this one is PSA approved. So I know that one's not fake. But this one was only like $100 and some change. I say only, but that's I'm very fortunate with the life I live to say it's only. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So all these cards are real. I made sure that they're real. I've looked at these cards with that loop and just looked them over and studied them a lot because I'm a big fan of serialized cards. I like the way they look. I opened this one. So this is like also a really good case study to look at and just sort of be like, this one's real because I opened it on camera on this channel. And you think that I am smart enough with this, with 112 subscribers, to be able to fake packs and fake boxes, right? You got a lot of faith in me. But yeah, I just wanted to go over that, sort of show everyone, just sort of talk about it, because there are some inconsistencies in the making of these. Like, it's even between this one. I don't know why the 5 is so short on SRAMs, but like you saw in the first part of this video, if you look it up, that's how they all look. I don't know why or how that happened, but all the SRAMs are shorter. Maybe SRAM is one of the first ones they did, and it was an issue with the printing. But to avoid any confusion with like Wizards, there's 2 SRAM number 1s and shit like that. I feel like they really didn't want that to happen, so they sort of did it as like a one and done. They did SRAM first because it's not that expensive, not that sought after, and then that's where they did. They saw, oh shit, the 5s are fucked up, and they fixed the 5s and then did the rest of the cards. That's the only thing I could imagine. That's the only thing I could think of. But yeah, man, I appreciate you for commenting. I appreciate you having concerns. I hope I didn't come off as rude, but I hope this cleared something up for you. I hope you get yourself in some of these serialized cards. I think that these are a new hallmark of Magic Collectible. I don't think these are going to go to the moon and be worth $1 million. But I think they're a nice piece to have for any collector, because no matter how much SRAM gets reprinted, SRAM is already like $1 rare, right? The serialized version from March of the Machine, and hopefully they're smart enough to realize that they shouldn't do multiple serializations of cards for the same card, unless that card is like Mana Crypt. Then maybe you could sneak away with that, but you shouldn't make 2 serializes for Rona. You shouldn't make 2 serializes for Sam. Hell, even Mesmeric Orb is debatable, but Atraxa is a little debatable, but I don't think you should do that. I don't think that, in my opinion. But that's pretty much all I have to say. I've looked it over with my loop, obviously not on camera. Get yourself this loop. This loop is perfect, I should say. Like, genuinely no issues with the product. Not sponsored. Excuse me. But this is my loop. This is what I use. It's on Amazon. I got it on sale. I think if you don't have Prime, you'd be walking away with it for $10. So, pretty cheap to make sure that you're multiple $100 cards are real. I'll just leave that there on the screen while I ramble. Very real, very good cards. I think that they're a new hallmark of any collector investor to have serialized cards. I think one thing people are not noticing is that even in things like Commander Masters, there's no serialized cards. Is that sort of a false break to sort of, what's the word, cool down the serialized market and try and forcefully prove everyone wrong by not doing them every set? Because Wizards is notorious for doing so much to sort of like ruin something they create that's great by overdoing it. Just like Secret Layers. Secret Layers are fire. There's too many. That's the only criticism. Secret Layers are fire. There's too many. So I'm surprised they're really not just straight balls to the walling serialized cards in every set. But so far, we have Lord of the Rings, March of the Machines, and Brothers War. We didn't have them in All of Phyrexia. We didn't have them in Aftermath. We didn't have them in Commander Masters. So far, we're on an every other set pattern with them. And we're going to see if they're in Wilds of Eldraine. Only time will tell. If they're not in there, I would be surprised personally, because it really, if history repeats, but 3 sets, it's technically 6, so a year and a half. Whoa, that's nuts. That's crazy. It's every other set. They all have them. So technically, if Commander Masters didn't have them, they should have them if history repeats. But I guess we'll see. We'll see how it goes. And have a beautiful day. Thank you for commenting. I appreciate it. I hope you had some fun watching this. And all sorts of good stuff.